Amelia Kerr joining us here on the platform, and it's a pleasure to have her on the show. Spoke to her earlier today. The first two games are in the books, two heavy defeats against England. What have you made about this series so far?
Yeah, the first two games, I guess, have been really disappointing. England have played really well, and the scorecard doesn't look great, but I think sometimes the scorecard can make things look a whole lot worse than what things actually are. And I think over our, I guess, leave and winter period, I think as a group, we've made some really good gains. And sometimes, with cricket, you don't always get to see the gains, and work ethic doesn't always mean you get the results. And from what I've seen so much improvement from this group over this period. It's just unfortunate that these last few games we haven't been able to put it together all at once, and we're playing a quality side in England who have played very, very well in these first two games, and we're disappointed. We haven't been up to scratch, but I think also moving forward, we've got to keep the belief we have in the work we've done, because, behind the scenes and at trainings, there's so much good stuff, and we are all getting better. It's just, the scorecard from those first two games doesn't reflect that.
Yeah, you're right. It's a complex sport, cricket, and many sort of casual fans, even some of the ones who'd consider themselves more than casual fans, will struggle to see the gains. What are those gains that you're talking about there? What are the things that have stood out to you that the team are doing well?
I think there's been, a lot of individual focus on things to work on. And I guess with a T20 World Cup also, there's been a lot on variations, as playing in Bangladesh. That's going to become important for bowlers. And then also developing a few more shot options with four fielders out, west the fifth gap, and developing more scoring options. And I think a lot of people, the whole team has bought into that. And that's been something that I've seen in the nets. And even the other day, Brooke Halliday played a reverse sweep for the first time, and it went for 4 runs. So things like that. And I guess with some of those things, it's a little bit can be seen more in T20 cricket, where you express yourself a little bit more, and 50 over cricket, there's more of a grind, I guess, and constructing an innings, things like that. But there's definitely been a massive buy-in from the group on how we can get better. I think the fitness has been huge as well. We've worked really hard on that. So there's a lot of stuff that's we've improved on. But I think, again, in 50 over cricket, the longer format for us, a lot of it just goes down to doing the basics really well for long periods of time, and mentally staying in the game for as long as possible. And it's who can do, I guess, the boring stuff the longest. And the more you play, the better you get at it. And I think that's probably the key for us moving forward, while still having the belief and courage to be fearless as well.
You're really positive, Millie, which I really like, because it's been a pretty tricky period for the team ever since that bronze medal at the Com Games. It's the results haven't been obviously ideal. I don't mean to sound too harsh with what I'm saying, but how do you stop the bleeding, I guess?
Yeah, it is tough, and professional sport is tough. I guess if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Everyone would be doing it, yeah.
But yeah, it is part of the job too. Someone's got to win, someone's got to lose, and obviously you want to be on the right side, but it is part of the job, and you want to keep finding ways to get better. And I think that is the key, that there's so much in cricket that's out of your control, but there's a lot also that's in your control. And I think when there's times like these where you've lost back-to-back series on the bounce and whatever it may be, it's how can we keep believing in our abilities despite having not had the success. Because I think as soon as you start doubting yourself, it becomes a really hard, it becomes a hard period in your career and as a team to get out of it. And I think the best cricketers in the world stay very level. I mean, if Kane Williamson's an example in New Zealand, and if he gets a duck or 100 tomorrow, It doesn't make him any better or any worse as a cricketer. And I think that's the mindset that, yes, those two games have been disappointing for us and we have not performed well and England have smashed us, but those results don't mean we're any lesser than what we are. It's just a result, and you've got to keep believing it. I mean, if we have a really great day, it doesn't mean we've suddenly got 10 times better, and those bad days don't mean we've got 10 times worse. So I think if we can stay consistent in what we can control and how we can keep getting better and not riding the highs and lows too much, I think that's important, because otherwise it's going to be a long career, and being positive and believing in your abilities, I think, is going to help the longevity of the team and the career and your own individual careers.
Amelia Kerr with us here on It's Only Sport at White Ferns, taking on England in the third of three ODIs tonight, the first two won by England. Amelia, you're absolutely right, because if you bog yourself down and you get negative about your job, then it's really hard to turn up to work, even if you are a professional athlete. But I'm guessing on the flip side, just being the devil's advocate in a sense, you also need to have tough conversations. Are you guys having those as players and coaches? When you are suffering these big defeats, you are making sure that you're aware of how rubbish this feels and the negative elements of those performances?
Yeah, definitely. I think it goes back to, I guess, like any job, you have a bad, I don't know, report, or if you're a teacher and your students are failing, you get taught to, and you got to review things. So it's the same for us as professional athletes. We have to review to get better, and we have to have tough conversations. And I think sometimes those tough conversations can obviously be hard. I think when it's your mates and whatnot, people can find that hard, but I think they're the best times to have those conversations, because you've got the relationship with the player to be able to say, what were you thinking here? Or you were so good here. Can you be better here? And I think it's really important we have those conversations, and we've definitely started to as well. And I think the key for us with those conversations means we can be a bit more accountable. It's, you said you wanted to play this way, so why did you go within yourself? Those are the type of conversations I think that you can start having afterwards as well, and that's only going to help you grow, I think, as a cricketer, because you're kind of buying into a game plan, or buying into how you want to play and how you want to be as a cricketer, despite failure or success on the field. You stay consistent in your process. So yeah, those conversations are being had. We review every game. We review when we win. We review when we lose. And you want to keep finding ways to learn. And yeah, sometimes those conversations can be tougher and hard. But I guess the key is that we're all, I guess, have the same goal and moving forward in the same direction.